Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We are continuing on with our garbage truck build. In the last video, we made the rear door open and close, and in today's video, I want to go over the compactor part and potentially being able to lift and dump the bin on the rear. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go to YouTube, and I want to look up the rear, how it looks, because I've never honestly looked into it. There we go. Hey, look, my video came up. I searched up for garbage trucks and it came up. Yeah, nice. All right, so I want to see the rear loader here. Let's just see how this. Oh boy. I hope I don't get hit for copyright on this. This from this person here, Hunter Dog 89. So this is his kind of, we'll just skip through, and there you can see it working away. So you see how it kind of goes up and down a little bit, and then it has this other actuator on there. So they're dumping the bin, and it's doing that. It's making the bale. Okay, so we know how that works with the lights. The lights are kind of cool and stuff like that. So that's kind of sort of something that we'll need to work on. Flashing lights, sounds, blah, blah, blah. So what we need to do is we need to take this part here, and we actually need to remodel it, because this would be the compactor. I'm just trying to see how it looks on the inside. If we get rid of that, right, and it's like that. Okay, and then we also have these, which are also going to be part of the rear of the actuator with the clips, with those. Oh, hold on a second. Is that part of? No, that's its own thing. That's its own thing. Oh, that one is part of. No, that can't be right. Oh, that sucks. You see what they did there? They modeled this hinge, this with the rest of it, but this one is separate. And this is what anyways. Yeah, that's what you get sometimes when you work with Roblox. And you work with these free models that you don't model yourself. A lot of times they're packaged together with redundancies like that. So then I either have to remodel that and that, or that's fine. We won't use this part of it then. I can just take this, right? The plate. Yeah, okay. So let's design our own plate. Shall we? So let's get a part in here. We'll rotate it. So this is going to be the upper plate. Let's see here. No, it's not quite 45. Maybe it's 40. 38 degrees. There we go. All right, and then we can duplicate that, and this is going to be 0. Scale that here. So we get something like that. Okay, and then we need a lower part to it. So as you saw there, it kind of works in two separate ways. So this plate will go up and down, and then there's also another plate that pushes the garbage, and that's what this one is going to be. All right. So the garbage dumps into here, and then this plate here is going to sweep it back. Is how that would be. Now, I don't know. And then this is kind of the back side of it. So let's just keep modeling here, and we'll go from there. I mean, that's pretty that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what you got to do. You just keep modeling and making sure that you're the right size. And I mean, there's all kinds of, we can add like a cylinder here. Rotate that. Okay. Come this way with it. Scale it there. Just to give it that round outer edge. That could work. That could work. Scale that. And of course, we're going to have to weld this all together when we're done, right? We'll weld it as separate parts. Okay, so this will flip over. The trash will flip onto here. It'll fall down. And then, of course, this just scoops it up into the back part there. So, I mean, we could even just make this flip up, perhaps. And then maybe this dumps the bin, and then maybe this can... There's two ways. There's a couple of ways we can do this. We can either make a bunch of moving parts, or we can turn this into a conveyor belt. And that way when we put the trash on it, it just moves in. And then when it hits, it touches this part here, the trash can just be, it can just be deleted. I suppose that could work. I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to you and your creativity. Whatever it is that you decide you're going to do. And the coding and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so we have that. We have that. Let's just duplicate that. And then we're going to rotate it back here. And we're going to move it down. Again, to that outer edge. And we can come in kind of like that, and then we'll duplicate this again. What is this part here? I don't know. Oh, that's the bin, the trash bin. All right, see how that looks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Group that together. Not too shabby, actually, not too shabby. Looks pretty good. Then we also need this part here. So we'll take this and we'll duplicate that. Because when it opens, you shouldn't see this here. Oh, they do have a, let's see. All right. Something like that, and then this one here will move again. Duplicate. Not quite 45. We could say 30. What was that? The other one was 38, right? 36. 34. So yeah, I mean, not much to this here. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3. It's actually 4 parts. It's actually 4 parts. We'll scale this to there, and that would actually be probably 8. Sorry, bear with me here while I just model this. We can duplicate that, and that's going to be 30. No, 36. Yeah, there we go. And make sure it's in line. And then we'll duplicate that. We'll bring it to there. And then this one here can be, this one's probably 45. Or 55. And then we can just scale that up. All right. So now if we take that model, look at that. We've almost scaled that part. I'd say that's pretty cool. Now this one here, we need to get we need to get that little shape in there. Let's see here. If I come into here like this and up to here like this. Oh, you know what? Here, we'll do this. This is probably going to be like that, right? And I'll move this over here. And then we'll take this one here and we will duplicate that. It's going to come through. All right, and then we can make that into a negative. We can grab those two and we can union them together. Perfect, there we go. And now we have our part. Duplicate that. Sure. Cool. So, before we do too much, let's take this part and put it in there and just see where it's going to sit. It's going to sit probably like that. Those. Oh no, it comes out further. You see the bolts, the green bolts? So it sits pretty much like that. Pretty much like that off the back of the truck. That's pretty cool. And then we just want the front to, this part here to come up just a little bit. Which you can do. And then this one here needs to be wider. I guess it should come all the way to the edge. Like that. So when we're looking at it from the back side, this is the part that we're seeing. All right. So really all we did that for was just to get the one part to flap up because this is all one union. So let's take the model, let's move it. We got to weld it all together and then add the functions. So we'll take this. This is going to be our weld part, right? Like that. We can take that. We can weld it to there. And then there. Perfect. There we go. So now this one here can also be welded to there. Preferably try not to weld it to the ground. Weld that to there. Weld that to there. I think it's every part. Where's this part here? Oh, that one we're not welding. And this one. This one. On this one. Cool. So now for this part here, what we want to do is we'll do the same thing. We'll just create a hinge between here and here. We'll take the position of this, copy the C-frame position. Done. Okay, now we have our hinge in here. So now what we need to do is we need to add this to the truck. So we can take this one here, we can delete that. And then we'll take this and that and we'll weld that to the vehicle. Oh, uh-oh. Whoops. I don't want to delete the whole truck, just the one part, please. So do we weld it? We'll weld it to here. We're not going to weld it to the door. We're going to weld it to there. And now this thing, for the most part, needs to be, this can be collidable. This is going to be the difficult part about this, is trying to get it into alignment and then making it. So we could do something like that. Yeah, there needs to be circles on there, which I'll add after. We could do something like that. I guess it doesn't matter because this is collidable false. All right, let's see how that looks. Yeah, cool. You see, it's kind of, the truck is kind of having problems. It's kind of having problems because in there, some of these are probably making contact with some of the other collidable parts. So we just want to make sure. Oh, and then this, of course, is not welded or anything. So that one there, we can probably say can't collide false. Okay, so all we really want is for that. So let's take this guy here. Let's duplicate this one here. And what we can do is this, we can say open, no, the other one is open baler. This one can be compressed garbage. Okay, and then what do we want it to do? Oh, this model also has to go into miscellaneous. Okay, and then that way, garbage collect. I really don't know how this is all going to work. I'm just sort of doing this kind of on the fly. So we go into garbage collect and we just grab that hinge and we'll bring that into there. And we want to set it up as motor, limits enabled, max motor torque. You always want to set that to infinite, just for whatever. We don't want it to go to 45. This one here is going to be 0. And this could be maybe, well, let's try 25 for now. Okay, and then also let's make this part, we'll just say can't collide false. Oh, cool. So that will open up. And that will allow, then you can just sort of see inside there. Yeah, it doesn't quite want, it wants to go up a little bit further, but. And then this little part here, maybe it could slide forwards and then go backwards. And that's what can put the trash in there. Ooh, that's neat. I like that. Yeah, it's colliding in the back there somewhere. I don't know why that doesn't want to. Why doesn't that want to work? What's going on? What is going on? Must be something in there that's colliding. Yeah, there must be something in there that's colliding. I wonder what it is. We made that clan collide false. Is this collidable? No, the whole back side should be can't collide false, right? Yeah. How weird is that, huh? Maybe we should change this to local. And that might help the script. Oh, I bet you it's those bolts in there. I bet you it's these little things. It shouldn't matter. They're... All right, I don't know what's going on here. There's the code. But you get the idea. You get the idea. So now we have the veiler, which doesn't really seem to want to work. It'll work after. What's it getting stuck on? No idea. No idea what is going on there. So, anyways, these are just sort of. Oh, I see. Yeah, that should just change our angular velocity, right? Oh, there's no. Oh, that's what's going on. It's this lock here. Whoops. That is what's going on. All right. Well, now that we've established that, so what we need to do is that. Rename that lock. And put that into the button. There we go. That explains it all. And then this will be compressor. All right. And then, of course, you want to add sounds, right? We need to add sounds. When it activates, it needs to make some sounds and stuff. Maybe put a particle accelerator in there. Or whatever, particle thingy. I was thinking something else here. Particle accelerator. Okay, so now that comes through there. But the problem is that that needs to be attached to... This needs to be attached. Oh boy. So let's move it this way here. Show welds. We'll take this weld here and we'll delete it. And then we can take this one here and we can weld this. So there we go. All right, now when we activate the truck, it should open and close with the rear door. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Very good, very good. Yes, I like it. And of course, there's still a little bit of work to be done with the lights and stuff, but it's good. It's good. Maybe I'll put like you can put a seat on here so other players can kind of ride on the back. On here, something like that, or a handle, maybe a tool. Just weld a tool on the side with a handle on it so when they grab the tool, they can hold on to the side, right? Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to get the little bin working. So how do we do that? Well, what I need to do is I need to go and open from file. I need to look at my other garbage truck and see how I made the connection. Because there's It's either a weld constraint or it's a weld. One of them you have to set the you have to tell which way to align the welds, and one you don't have to tell which way to align the welds. So this one here, weld constraint, you don't have to align the welds. That's the one there. All right. So what we need to do is we need to take this part here, okay? And we need to add a part. Okay, we'll come this way, we'll scale it. Okay, and then we'll temporarily weld it to here. And then of course this one here, which has a weld in it, we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to attach it with a hinge constraint to, we can do that, and then we're going to put the hinge in there, just like that. And then that way the hinge will be in this part here. Turn it to a motor, turn this to infinite. We could say limits enabled. Now I don't know if 45 is going to be enough on the upside. This one here could be 0, but this might have to be like perhaps 90. Yeah, something like that. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this part here and we're going to duplicate it because we need another one over here. Take the weld constraint out of that. Rotate it. And then just move it here. There. Perfect, just like that. Now I don't even know if this thing's welded together. It does not appear to, the street bin does not appear, it's all anchored, isn't it? Yeah, so as soon as we start to move the street bin, it's going to fall apart. So I ended up having to weld this whole thing together. This is part of it. You can weld it to there. Bear with me. We are developing. We are developing. I guess I could have just grabbed a bin I already have made, but you know what? Instead of welding this whole bin together, here it is. What you do like this. Watch this. Union. Oh, is it? What can't I? Oh, maybe it's the welds. Or is it the wedges? There we go. Okay, now it's one big bin. All right. Get rid of that. Oh, is that? That's that part there. And that, we'll just union that. Perfect. Okay, so now it's one part. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. And then this part here, we're also going to weld to there. And that's got to go inside the garbage bin. This has got to go inside the garbage bin. And what's that? That's just going to go inside. Just put that inside miscellaneous for now. Just like that. Perfect. Done deal. All right. And then what I'll do is I'll back into it so it makes contact. Okay. So now what we need to do is just need to insert a script into here. Insert object, a script. And we're going to use the hit function. Just like that. What we want it to do when it hits it. That's right. So what we want to do is change the name of this. We're going to rename this to bins, and then that way in the script that we're working on, we can say if hit.name equal to bins, then do I need to put that in quotes? Let me see. Where's the script here? Yeah, I gotta put that in quotes. Okay, so it's just the name of the part. So when it hits it, if it doesn't hit that, we can say else wait, right? Then blah 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 blah. We could say else wait. Okay, and then that way it won't give you errors, because if you touch it and it doesn't say bins, it'll just give you an error. It'll just start throwing tons of errors to the server for no reason. So if you're doing debugging or whatever, and you're trying to track down your errors to try and get your overall error amount down, it's a pain. Because every object that touches it that isn't named bin, it's going to say bin or whatever. Okay. So then what we want to say is once it touches it, we want to say as an instant, where is it? Right. It's here. Boom, just like that. Local, and then you name it, whatever it's going to be. I say hitch, but this could be, you could say weld even. An instance.new weld constraint, okay? And then it's going to go from the script.parent, so our part, and then we need part 1 and part 2 of the weld, I'm pretty sure. If you look at the weld, it has part 0 and part 1. So we need to define that when we're making our code. So we can name it and then give it the 2. We're going to name it connect. And then you need part 1 and part 2. Now, if you say just weld, then you need to say part 1, and then you need to tell which face it is. Then you need to say you need to invert it and do this and that. Blah. Don't even worry about that. If you just say weld constraint, it'll be a weld between one part and another part. You don't have to tell it where it is. You don't need the C-frame reference. You don't need nothing. This is all you need. 3 little lines of code. Perfect. All right, so we do that, and then that's it. Okay, and then what I have is I have another script in there. All right, perfect. Equals hit, just like that. All right, now if we press play on it, when I move that bin into there, it should actually create a weld constraint. Let's see if I can do that here. Oh, it's anchored. Is it anchored or it's yeah, there we go. Oh, boy. I'll just get in the truck and back up. What we want to do is put a handle on it, right? Okay, there you go. So if I get out, you'll see there it's actually welded now to the truck. There's the garbage bin, all right, and there should be a weld. Let's see, miscellaneous. I don't even know, wherever that part is. Is it there? Yeah, it created 2. It created 2 of them. It double tapped it. So then I think we need to say wait on this side, and it'll actually prevent it from double hitting? Let's find out. Yes, it did. It prevented it from double hitting, and it only created a single one. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to take this button here, and we'll duplicate that, and we'll put it over here for now. And this will be hand bin. We just call it that, right? In the proximity prompt here, we can just say empty hand bin, right? Whatever's going to do. We don't really know yet. And then we'll get rid of the lock on there. And then we need to get rid of that hinge constraint. And we need to take this hinge constraint here, and we need to drag it into there. This here. We need to drag it into here. And I think that's all we need to do, except we need to get rid of this lock. So what we're going to do instead, we're going to tell it to delete the weld. Get rid of that too, actually. Let's just test this feature first, and then we'll get rid of the weld. Oops. So if I say empty hand bin, oh yeah, there it goes. Just like that. It goes to 90. So let's change that to maybe 100. In case you're wondering what keeps popping up here, I have an onboard sound card. I plugged in external speakers. Every time I plug in external speakers, it has an error with the sound card. It's just, hey, technology. Technology. Okay, so now let's see. That should give us the ability to collect bins. Okay, and then if we say empty hand bin, look at that. Just like that. Boom, 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 boom. Then it empties the bin. And that can do that. And then, of course, what you can do is when it goes to empty the bin, I know some of them have these, the tops flip over and all that sort of stuff. So there's other ways of doing that. What we need to figure out now is how to emulate garbage pouring out of the bin sort of into the back of the truck, right? Is what we need to emulate now. Now that's gonna I can't unfortunately do that on the fly because it is gonna require a little bit of it's probably pretty loud right now too. I apologize for that full volume, but it is gonna require, or it might not actually. I may have it muted. A little bit more thought on my part, and I just trying to do that on the fly is not really my thing. Yeah, see, so that would open up. Maybe there's dust or whatever coming in here, right? And then, yeah. Well, I see. That's trying to go a little bit further. Cool. So as you can see, it just takes a little bit of time. It just takes a little bit of thinking, and then we got it. There, yeah. That's what. Why is it doing that? Because this doesn't lock. You see that? There's no lock on that hinge. So that's why the hinge is kind of swinging wildly. So you just kind of gotta watch out for that. There was a good example as to why it's important to add welds. And when something is in motion, you want to make sure either the vehicle is anchored or it's stable and all that sort of stuff to avoid those little issues. Yeah. Then what we can do on the back of here is we can insert another part. We can insert a tool into the workspace. Let's get that here. Insert object, tool. Okay, we can drag this part inside the tool. And we can do this, and we can do this. And we can weld that to there. And then we just need to rename this to handle. If it'll let me. And now we have a handle on the bin. Just like that, except it's backwards. And what that allows the player to do is now the player can grab the bin. Right? They've got the bin. We can walk over to the truck. Boom. Now it's attached to the truck. You can actually move the truck. Oh, did I not say can be dropped? I did say can be dropped. So I think we need to scale this a little bit different. I don't know. I'm not sure. There we go. Just press 1. Just press 1. Then it'll empty the bin. Like that, right? You know. And then when it goes back down, right? Then when it goes back down, you can have in the code there to find where is it going to create the? We can say script.parent. It creates it in here, right? Doesn't it? No. Show and explore. Where's that part? Okay, rename that to garbage small bin. Like that. And then we can, in this script here, it'll go down. We can tell it to wait, like, I don't know, 5 seconds. And then we can say script.parent.small bin anchor. And then we need to say wait for child. And then we need to find the weld, okay, which is going to be connect. That's the name of it. And then we'll say, let's turn this to a local. Local welds, connect. We can say if welds, then welds destroy. Perfect. Now we pick up the bin, we move it over, all right, empty it, like that, does its thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that bin should drop. It didn't. Why is that? Why? Maybe I didn't. Maybe it wasn't that where it was. Miscellaneous small bin anchor connect. CONNECT. It should destroy that, shouldn't it? Yeah, there it goes. There, you see that? It just destroyed it the second time. So you might have to try it a couple of times. There we go. Then you press 1. Hey, I got my bin. There it is, back in place. All right, hop on the truck, and away we go to the next one. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of we're evolving. You know, we're adding things to the truck, and this is sort of what you as a player or as a game designer creator are going to need to be doing, and you want to be thinking about while you're designing your parts and while you're adding your code. Is what do I want the player to do? What do I want the vehicle to do? What do I want the parts to do? And you just remember that the code is the infrastructure. So you're building the object, and then we need the infrastructure, or whatever you want to call it, to animate the objects. Without the code, the objects aren't going to do anything. They're just going to sort of sit there and look good or look bad if you can't design good stuff like myself. You know, so that's the benefit of the code. And always remember that we think of the workspace as a folder. This is a folder, and all the objects in the folder have locations. So when you're designing your code, just make sure you just need to find the locations, and then you can create a variable based on the location. So this is the actual location, but then we create a variable. And then we can use that variable. So instead of having to name the entire location every single time in the script, we can just name the variable, which the code will then use to it does its thing and the magic, whatever it does. That's it. So thank you so much for watching again this video. That's the small bin part. That's it. I don't know what the next one will probably be. Probably the next one here, we'll focus on the inside, trying to get a bale to appear in here and figuring out how we can push out the bale. Because what we can do is we can actually spawn a small garbage bale inside here when we press a button and then push it out, instead of having one sitting inside there. And then that way we just sit on a folder in like server storage, and then you press the button, it spawns, and then we just empty it out. Something like that. We'll see. That part I need to think about. Might take me a day or so just to kind of, I usually just put it in the back of my mind, do whatever, and then an idea will just come to me, and I'll be like, okay, let's try it out. Spend a couple hours mucking around, and it's done. So yeah, so I hope you learned a little bit more how to get the bins work, how to add a handle, how to get the small stuff going, and so on and so forth. So thank you so much for watching and liking and subscribing, and we'll see if I get a copyright hit on this one, because that was somebody else's YouTube channel that we were watching the actual garbage truck on. So, but thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.